Howdy, folks. Name's Rick Goodell. Some folks call me Yonder. The poem I want to do for you today was inspired by an interview I saw on a YouTube channel called Cowboy Authentic. I'm sorry to tell you that Cowboy Authentic doesn't seem to be producing videos anymore, but that's too bad because they did a lot of great interviews of old hands and all kinds of different cattle operations from huge spreads to feedlots. And I think they even did a guest ranch once. It's worth looking up, see if you can see some of their old videos. But the poem that got inspired for today is one done by a buckaroo named J.D. McKay down in the Great Basin. J.D. told some fine stories in that interview, and I tried to sort of capture the essence of one of them and turn it into rhyme, and that resulted in this poem that I call Moose Ropin by Rick Goodell. Levi was a young buckaroo who just plain loved his work. He'd grown up a cowboy and he knew doing hard, no shirk. Like a lot of salty cowhands, Levi had his favorite roles, and no one ever questioned but what his was building horses out of foals. They say the man was forked, meaning he rides a bronc real well, and he's the one you want to call when you got a snorty one to quell. Up in Idaho one fall morning, can't rightly name the year, over near the Montana border, Levi must have been bored a roping steer. He was riding out on a good mount, Levi'd built him so he knew. Gazing out across the draw, he got him an idea, not really thinking it through. He'd spied a big old mossy critter, rubbing his antlers on a spruce. What better test of a cow pony than to try and rope a moose? Yeah, it didn't look all that challenging, though them antlers was pretty wide, but truth be told, no wider than some longhorns that he'd tried. Well, he had to jump across a wash to get close enough for roping. It didn't look all that far, so he spurred that gelding a-hoping. That horse's back feet slipped as the bank gave way on the west, causing that gelding's forelegs to trip on the eastern crest. They say they both somersaulted over to the Montana side. Good news is, neither was serious hurt, as long as you don't tally in their pride. Levi's foot was still hanging in the stirrup when he finally come to. His head was spinning and his brain was all fuzzy and trying to figure out where was who. When he finally come round after being knocked silly by the force, his eyes was still rolled back and he kept hollering, "Someone catch my horse." Well, that gelding been ground hitch trained, so he just stood there staring down at his rider, as if he might want to try that moose again, maybe do another fun glider. Yeah, another cowhand who witnessed it all trotted over to render aid, helping Levi to his feet while praising that fine horsemanship he'd displayed. Levi can't quite remember the rest of that day, but he laughs about it all now, saying, it's just another memory of the cowboy life where he's staying. Levi's a mite stove up these days, cowboying down the Great Basin now. Sure enough, every once in a while, some green hand will ask him about the how. Ain't had nerve to ask him myself, though I'm willing to bet my pay them Idaho moose can all rest easy now, knowing they ain't no longer Levi's roping prey.